Alright, there you go. You saw nothing. Don't worry about it. Okay. Just remember... Oh, that was strange. Stay calm. Don't... Okay, throttles are up, down. Okay, there we go. Throttles, check. SAS activated. Everything looks good. Hands working. All right. Throttles up. Lift off in 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. All right, there we go. Or wait, no, that's main engine ignition. Because this rocket doesn't have boosters. So, you may be wondering why I'm inside of a Apollo module. You also may be wondering why you can see Bill and Bob doing cartwheels on the Mun over there. And some other warnings, and stop using small bits of metal as fuses. Alright, good to know, good to know. So anyway, altitude meter, we're climbing, and don't forget to stage. Go, that's all well and good. I think the last time I might have lost an engine. Alright, I mean, what? There was no last time. This is the first time I did this. I totally didn't try before and mess up horribly by staging off my main engine before it was ready and then get shunted up into space. Okay, so, yes. Yeah, that whole last time stuff, I don't know if you noticed, but it may have happened. And that totally wasn't what you saw at the beginning of the video. And so, we are climbing, it looks like. And it's about time to start putting that nose down. And SAS is not happy with that. Resources, we have electric charge. Do have that. Yeah, you gotta pay attention to that staging malarkey. Okay, so spacecraft orientation looking good. We are climbing quite quickly. Vertical speed looking good. Yeah. Alright, oh, hold on. I can't read that. Someone didn't put it in high enough res. Alright, we're about to be dropping down to 30 degrees. Any second. Now, apoapsis right now is probably coming close to like 25 kilometers. I could figure it out if I wanted to, but ain't nobody got time for that. Alright. Yes, SAS, what are you doing? You're just like deciding, yeah, you're deciding I need to pitch up. Don't want to. Okay, SAS has it under control. Looking out onto the planet below us. The blue jewel of the Kerbal system. That is Kerbin. Which is kind of interesting. Apparently I have to fix my helmet and do my little hand thing. Yeah, I am Jeb, of course. I mean, who wouldn't be Jeb? That was a very strange effect. Did you guys see that as well? I just saw, like, something fly through the spacecraft or so. Oh, I need to, like, pitch down. Okay, let's hurry this up. Go down to 15 degrees. Okay. And hold that, please, SAS. Do my bidding. Yeah. Okay, I don't think we're over-torquing anything. Alright. Yes, this is looking very good despite my bland commentary. I really like this cockpit. The Kerbol cockpit, whatever it's called. Yeah, him. I like it. Yes, I do believe we are going magnetic 90 right now. If that's a thing on Kerbin. Vertical velocity, we are definitely getting up to orbit. Okay, I'm going to bring the nose, make for sure we're still at 15 degrees because traveling over a rotating body, you know how it is. Okay, now I'm going to bring the nose even farther down and cut the engines. Cut. Okay, there we go. Now, our altitude right now isn't very high, and our vertical velocity is thus. But I do believe we're still going up. I think we probably have an apoapsis of around 60 kilometers, I'd say. Maybe more. Just gonna give it a little bit more oomph. Okay. And start time warping. Okay, we appear to be getting awfully close to apoaps. We are not anywhere near where we want to be. Okay, so I'm going to pitch up and I'm going to burn. Yeah. No clue at all what any of my figures are. I'm guessing I have around a 60 degree or 60 kilometer apoaps right now. But that may not be so. Okay, let's give this guy some oomph. I'm tired of squandering my time here in the atmosphere. Okay, that should be plenty-o upthrust. As we emerge from the atmosphere, I begin to wonder if I have enough fuel to circularize. Okay, so there we are. We're in space. Alright, now let's get orbital. Because right now we have a very eccentric orbit, as you can tell by my vertical speed. I'm going to bring that down to 0 so that I know that, oh dear, I'm doing somersaults. Okay, so if I hold down the button, hold down the button, hold down the button, hold down the other button, hold down the other button, hold down, okay. Yeah, you gotta use, like, math and stuff to get a good orbit in this game. Okay, burn down. Burn. Turn down for what? Oh, man. So many references, so little time. Okay, so okay, that's a good orbit, I think. I know I am, I'm sure I am, I'm HAPPY. Okay, so we're at about 80 kilometers. And I think this is a good orbital velocity for 80 kilometers. I'm honestly not sure, however. And if we hit 70 kilometers, or, yeah, if we get down to the point where I'm 70 kilometers, then I'm definitely gonna make some changes. Okay. And That's 70 kilometers. What I'm going to do now is, once again, try and get this orbit going proper. I may have gotten orbital velocity wrong, but I can't have. I've played this game so very much. I must be at some sort of wonky eccentricity right now. Make for sure I have some upward velocity, which of course dies off as we hit apoapsis. Now, oh dear, we appear to be in the soup. Okay. Because I do not know what this thing has in store for me, I'm going to burn at like 20 degrees until I know I'm at orbital velocity. Because this is just crazy. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Quite the apoapse right now. 200 kilometers. 200 kilometers is my apoapsis. Wow, I got that very close. Dang. Dang, I'm good. Okay. So, I know I'm on an orbital trajectory. I know that much. So, all that aside, okay, there's Kerbin. And we're actually in the perfect orientation. Alright, so we just want to, wow, I'm surprised how perfect this orientation is. Let's see. Coming round to nighttime. There's the day-night terminator right there. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Now, I know we're gonna need a little bit of time to make this particular burn, because we have about 1,000 meters per second delta V to cover here. So I'm going to begin my burn, and hold on. Quick mental math. I think that at around, let's say, 2,800, I will, if not already, I will, yeah, do some things. Okay, max throttle. Max it. Make for sure it's maximum. Okay, that should be full throttle, and stage set. There we go. Now we have a little bit of extra boost, actually, from that wonky orbital insertion, because I can't see what I'm doing. Because I'm restraining myself from using map mode. Now, let's see. Yeah, we're in pretty much the perfect orientation. Maybe a few orbits off, but that's all fine and dandy. Alright, just gonna let my nose rise. Get that 10 kilometer, or it's kilometer, or hit that 90. Hit that 90. And just keep on those engines, because those guys are what's gonna get us there. Now, I may be asking where exactly we are going, and because I'm not sure if I've mentioned this earlier in the video, because I don't remember things well, I'm going to keep it a secret. So you guys won't know until we're there. All you know is that I'm going very fast right now, because you can see my orbital velocity as displayed by this cockpit. Oh man. So, this Might take a while, so I'll be back to you guys when we're at the proper velocities. Alright, and we are back. Yeah, I have quite a lot of velocity. Let's see. So we're at 130 kilometers right now. And we're going to start time warping because I cut the engines. 150. Yeah, anyway, we're going places. Man. 200. 300. 400. 500. 600. 700. Yeah, 800. 900. 1,000. 1,010. 1,020. 1,030. Oh, yeah. We're high. We're high up. And I'm just gonna start waiting now because we're gonna be going even higher. Now, I hope I haven't done any miscalculations. Let's just hope. Yes, we're quite high up. And as you can see by our little marker there, we are nowhere near Apoaps. Nowhere near Apoaps. Oh, time warp just went 10. What? Oh. Delete on close. Apparently now I'm supposed to be transferring to Duna for a space probe, but we shan't worry about that because that space program got cancelled. Yeah. Still got quite the orbital velocity going here. Ah. There we go. Alright. Now. Oh my gosh. Okay. I thought my mom was a gigantic bee. Okay, I'm gonna pause for right now. Alright, that is... Oh, now the phone rings. Oh, great. I can't believe that telemarketing still exists. It's surprising to me. Okay, so, I'm nearing my solar periaps right now. Let's see if I can come around and face the sun. Wait, the sun's gonna be this way, won't it? Alright, so... And Kerbin will be to my retrograde, I believe. Yeah, it should be to my retrograde. I'm upside down according... Oh, I'm confuzzled. Okay. So behind... Ah, see? There we are. That's Kerbin over there. And... our target. So now, what I'm going to do is... Well, since I don't exactly know my altitude, because all the altimeters are going to be completely off the scales, as you can see. It's like spazzing out. What I'm going to do is, because, handily enough, I have my little pinging thing on here, transmission. Yeah, at this point, this is just making up an excuse to get telemetry from the space center. Alright, so I'm going to go to the space center and get my telemetry. Alright, so I'm back from gathering telemetry and doing some calculations using the maneuver node system. Of course, no flying, but just doing some calculations and such. And I've came up with a number. At my current orbit, which is very not what I want it to be, at my periapsis. So let me tell you, in case you haven't connected the dots yet or something, or haven't realized, when my vertical speed is at 0, I'm at either periapsis or apoapsis. Right now, because my vertical speed is negative, I am dropping to periapsis. So right here is like, hey, you're at an apsis of some type when your vertical speed is 0. That is always true. Vertical speed of 0, you're at an apsis. Whether it's periapsis and apoapsis is determined by which way the needle is moving. Clear? Okay, good. So I'm going to be back with you guys when we are at periapsis and perform the 429.3 meter per second burn. Right. Alright guys, hello. You're back as I'm coming up on my periapsis. Yes, so I'm going to get some things that I'm going to need because, yeah, where art thou? There you go. Alright, so, nope, go back. Okay. We are just, by the way, still recording. Interesting. It grays out the rest of my screen since I've, whatever. Do I care? I think not. Alright, so here we are. We have our little handy-dandy heads-up display calculator running on Windows 8 full screen. As we can obviously see, this command pod has Windows 8.1 installed. So what we are going to do is we're going to plug in our orbital velocity, and we are going to subtract 429.3. And simple mathematics that you could do pretty much on any computer calculator will tell you that we need to achieve an orbital velocity of 172.7 or 120 oh my gosh, I can't speak. I'm just saying random things right now. Hold on. 10,227 because KSP is going to round on this display right here. So, those are the just got to compose myself and speak. These are the velocities we must achieve. And make for sure SAS is still on. Alright, so 222.7. Alright, no. 227. Alright, my engines are burning at full tilt by now. Just going to make this adjustment. I'm slightly past periaps, as you can probably see. But it's fine. It matters little. It's the adjustment maneuvers that we're going to have to watch out for. And so when we start getting closer to the planet in question, I will take my telemetry readings again. So, yeah, our orbital velocity is dropping oh so slowly because we are using a mere 3 Nerva nuclear engines. Now, in this game they're called atomic rocket motors, but IRL, in real life, they're called Nervas because, yeah, NASA. They pretty much made something exactly like this. Okay, here we go. We're approaching our target velocity, and we've passed it. Good job. I pay attention to the numbers and then I overshoot completely. And somehow this magnetic thing down there below us is still getting accurate readings. Interesting. Okay. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to face let's see, where's it gonna be? Alright, so anyway, we're gonna be here and we're going to do some yeah, we're going to do some more telemetry measurements and come up with a time. So, yeah. So, calculations finished by the fine kerbals back at the tracking station, and they tell us that we are actually currently on an encounter with the target planet, which is as of yet unnamed because, yeah, suspense. Once again, if I already mentioned this in the video and I'm just seeming really stupid right now, it's because I am. Yeah. Oh. Shh. Oh wait, you guys can't see. Okay, never mind. You shan't see what is going on in the background. Now, when we reach a velocity of... oh, never mind, because we're not circular. Okay, yeah, we're on eccentric. We pretty much, it's called a Hoffman transfer. And we're on an orbit following a Hoffman transfer sort of trajectory, which means our velocity will not be remotely similar to the velocity of the target object. We will be traveling far slower than the target object. So this means that although we are... Okay, so currently we are traveling far slower than the target, and I'm suspecting if we go along the, not the ecliptic is, oh wait, no, is this the ecliptic? I don't know anymore. Yeah, so my suspicions are that if we go along here, we will, no, not below us, they won't be below us. They'll be somewhere. They actually might be retrograde of us. The target in question. Now, nerdopusses out there. That's your new name. Your nerd octopuses. You nerdopusses out there may notice that. Well, you can quite easily figure out where I'm going by cross-referencing my orbital velocity, my escape trajectory when I left, doing all those things, and probably figure out my target, but hey, that's not fair. Come on, that's cheating. And I really, at this point, have no clue where they are. I guess we just can't see them yet. I don't even know if we're close, to be honest. All I know is we're going to be encountering. So I will know when a nav ball thing changes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just point prograde and wait. Alright, we just hit our apoapsis. Actually, we just kind of flew by it at extreme levels of time warp, but I figured you might want to know that right now the target in question should be below us and slightly to the retrograde. If my if my head is working properly. It sometimes does. But we should be getting close. Ah, I can see it. Do you see the target? Possibly make out its tinged surface. Tinged with a color yet unknown. Because we're not close enough. All we see really is a flashing... Yep, that's 1 pixel on my monitor right now. So, yeah. We must get closer and investigate the strange flashing white light. Yeah, if you don't see it, it's right there. Here we are. We have gotten closer to the object. Or should I say, both objects. And, yeah. I wonder if there's a cockpit that has a digital altimeter. That would be actually a really nice thing to have for these IVA things. Because if you have a digital altimeter, yeah, that's right. And you have, instead of this flimsy analog one that's based off of pressure, and as you can see, we're in a non-pressurized environment. You can just, from here, you can just make out what this planet may be. Hold on. Ah, I've zoomed in on the window. Yes. From here, you could just make out the planet. We can see primarily the dark side. I believe this would be a, if that were a moon, that would be a waning crescent, and you can see only from its eclipse of a neighboring star in the backdrop of the universe, you can see a small dark body with a white outline. Very large compared to the planet body, however. This could be interesting. Yeah, you guys probably know where we are, right? Yeah, good. Alright. Catch you guys when we're closer. Okay, we aren't actually that much closer. However, as you can see, from the way we're coming towards this object, if we were to burn north, it would... man, I'm already disorientated. This nav ball is being quite useful right now. And we have to remember we're looking retrograde, not prograde, and that the object's catching up with us because our relative velocities are so high. And yes, all that lovely orbital dynamics. All I know is I'm gonna just... There. Do that. And I know that'll bring us in closer. And I wasn't even looking at our velocities or anything like that. And I don't feel like doing the trigonometries to figure out what that means. So now if we look, because we remember it was down retrograde of us and slightly to the north. I'm not, yes. Actually, it seems to be nearly directly below us now. So, yes, that's the target. Let's come in closer. Actually, hold on, I can stop the recording for you guys so that you don't have to watch all this boring silence as I approach this mystical body floating in the depths of space. And we have entered a sphere of influence. Now, we appear to be, we have quite the velocity right now, and I'm going to cancel its, I'm going to make it up-down, pretty much. I'm going to make it so we're falling straight towards the planet in question. So I'm just going to line up Now, I'm not going to make this perfect because I need to have a reference point of the retrograde. And unfortunately, the articulation on this nav ball is imperfect. As in, I can't see 90 degrees, I can only see 45 degrees of nav ball in each... Actually, well, I can see 90 degrees, but yeah. Actually, wait, no, I can see, oh, I don't know. I can see a bit. A good bit of the nav ball is within my visual range right now. Okay, just keep that there. Right now, I'm just canceling all this velocity so that we come down directly towards the planet in question. Now, what I really want is to just come down nice and easy on top of it. Now, this is by no means the Delta V efficient way. This is by no means the best way. But this is... okay, so I'm going to point this way. Now, because I'll most likely... Yeah, see, I can see prograde. And I'm getting an overheat warning. Oh, interesting. See, I can see my prograde marker now, just barely, and keep myself lined up with that guy. Alright. So, let's check our handiwork. Okay, so about 80 degrees. That's all fine and dandy, I think. Yes. No guarantees we're going to be returning from this planet. Oh, I'm sorry, but I can't make guarantees. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to burn primarily retrograde. Just burn up that retrograde. Now, I know a lot of it is in vertical velocity, so I'm going to, of course, in the spirits of vertical velocity, align those guys like so, and because, I mean, duna, oh, darn it, I just ruined it for those who don't know what planets look like. Okay, yes, I'm going to duna. Good job, you finally interrogated it out for me. Yeah, we're running awfully low on fuel. I did not think it would take 6,000 meters per second to get down to duna, but apparently it will. So what I'm doing now is I'm canceling my velocities so that we can get the retrograde marker directly onto the surface of the planet. Now, I'm worried that if I switch to surface mode right now, we might put ourselves in some sort of strange duna synchronous orbit, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sit here and burn northeast, or north-northeast. Ah, there we go. There we go. We are falling directly to the body in question. Now, we might get a bit of a periapsis out of this. There still might be a periapse type thing. Okay, so that's our velocity. We're going there. And so, if we imagine that white dot there being duna, we're going to come right there, which may be questionable. Oh, hello, sweetie. Yes, Doctor Who references are good. Okay, so this is a fairly long video. Might have to chop it up. You guys won't mind. Nice long production value. Of course you won't. Okay, so the trick I'm using to make for sure I'm lined up with the horizontal velocity is making for sure that whatever little metal spoke thing I'm using and pointing towards and pointing at the retrograde, the parallel metal spoke is level with the horizon. So as you can see, no, I passed it. Right here is about the optimal burn location. And we don't need much. Oh wait, that's prograde. Crap. Okay. Well then, I'm glad we didn't use too much fuel doing that. Yeah, and if you're going to be burning on a, like that, you want the corners to be pointing to the place where the horizon disappears over the horizon, if that makes sense. See, the little, here, this needs to match up with that, and this needs to match up with that, and this needs to match up with that. And we know we're orientated correctly for the burn, because it's hard figuring these things out. It's hard to fly in space when all you have is a few metal spokes for navigating and a little light-up display. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna need a more powerful retro burn. I'm really trusting the atmosphere right now. It had better not let me down, because I know it's not a thick atmosphere. I know. Okay. How's that looking? Ah, that's looking very good. I'm just hoping we get in deep enough that we at least get an orbit. And, yeah, 42 minutes! 42 minutes, yes, that's interesting, because 42 is, of course, the answer. The answer to what, you may ask? Well, it's the answer to that. 42 is also the answer to that as well. Any question you can ask, the answer somehow relates to 42, and we're landing on the dark side because we came in on top of it. And behind it. Oh well, we're coming in. How exciting. Okay, we're definitely coming in. Oh, I might actually need to go into external mode because I didn't set up an action group for turning on and off the engines. Alright, guys, you can finally see the spacecraft that's brought us here because I've got to go shut off my... actually, yeah, shut off my engines. Oh, no, that's wrong button. See, there we go. Okay, pull the chutes. Shut down that engine, shut down that engine, shut down that engine. Hope that those chutes are well deployed. Hope that we don't smash into the ground. Hope, hope, hope! Hey, they made it. What's left? Looks as if some of the fuel pods are left, full of fuel. Oh, we even have an engine. Can I... Right. So... I did not hit the ground. Hitting the ground didn't happen. I will tell you what happened. We hit the atmosphere. And I didn't put... I trusted in the bonds between these external nacelle engines and the central body, thinking that, hey, it's only 4 tons, or 4 or 5 tons, by then most of the fuel will be out of that central tank. We won't have anything to worry about. Parachutes will open fine, the structural supports will hold, we'll land on the surface, and I'll be like, hey guys, I made it to Duna in IVA mode and some telemetry because I don't have a digital altimeter. And counting that would suck. And that thing wouldn't even work because it's based on atmosphere. Oh, whatever. Huh. Well, now that we have dumped radioactive debris onto the surface of Duna, I feel like I have been very successful this video. Thank you all for watching.